Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, as you see right here, Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. They have a lot going on. We are merely a week away to WrestleMania. Did Dominic get what he want? Did he get the match with his dad? And Rhea Ripley continues to play mind games with Charlotte Flair. There's a lot going on. Plus, too, the contract signing between Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Intercontinental Champion Gunther. We'll see that contract signing, how that exploded coming up between these three gentlemen and stuff. So don't waste no time. Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Yeah, so you see right here, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre had a lot to say, but we'll get to them a little bit later on in the show. But with Gunther, with the contract signing from the Intercontinental Championship, especially with that. Speaking of that, the reuniting forces of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens reunited this past last week on SmackDown. They come together to do the KO show. Sami Zayn and his buddy Kevin Owens got something in store for the undisputed tag team champions. We'll get to that a little bit later. But a lot going on SmackDown tonight. SmackDown from Las Vegas, Nevada. Something that we know. But here's the two matches that we already know. Cody Rhodes will team go against Ludwig Kaiser. Baby hell. The newly Hall of Fame elected Rey Mysterio takes on LA Knight, and will Ray's son Dominic come and say something about it throughout the middle? But we'll get started with this. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes kicks off SmackDown. Rare sighting for Cody. It's almost been almost 6.5 years to the date that Cody Rhodes has returned to SmackDown. Last time Cody Rhodes returned to SmackDown when he was Stardust, and now Cody returns back to take on Ludwig Kaiser. But where is the win? Uh, Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa had a key interest in the match. McCody went against Ludwig Kaiser, which that was a good barn burner, if you ask me. Ludwig Kaiser setting up the match between him and where Cody and Gunther down the road, if Cody ever wins the Undisputed Championship, which I think he will and stuff. We seen a lot in that match, but a lot in store. If you ask me, Cody even called out Solo Sikoa, even called out Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman saying about Cody, talking about the old Cody apology. Cody didn't want the apology. Cody felt like they was wasting their time. Cody wanted them to cut to the chase. Cody wanted Solo Sikoa and still tell Solo Sikoa he still's not ready. So we know this Monday on Raw, Cody will take on Solo Sikoa after he's been trying to prove down Solo Sikoa ever since he thinks Solo Sikoa acts just like him from Legacy 2009. Cody was flanked by the champion at that time, Randy Orton. So hey, we'll see that. We know, speaking of Raw this Monday, The Miz will host Raw TV. We can show the ad. Miz, the host of WrestleMania, will host a special Miz TV with women's tag team champions Becky Lynch and Lita, and Trish Stratus, who will be on the show. We don't know what they're gonna talk about. Probably damage control. Uh, Days leading up to their match at WrestleMania, so we're looking forward to seeing that this Monday on Raw. Okay. Speaking of that, we got news, breaking news. John Cena and Austin Theory. We know these two men will meet. It's like the battle of generations. Cena, the battle of the past generation versus Theory, who's going to be the next him. You just tell. But Theory and John Cena, we heard news that they will kick off Open WrestleMania with the United States Championship on the line. You can mirror almost 20 years to the date. John Cena Open WrestleMania 20 in New York City against the Big Show at the time, 2004, win his first United States Championship. How appropriate, how fitting it could be. Cena in Theory Open WrestleMania that Saturday, so we'll see it. So, right. Speaking of that, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, the Queen, Charlotte Flair came out there. She came out there to address her challenger, Rhea Ripley. I think she did like a heel promo to me, talking about she earned the right to be a Flair and all this stuff and all this nature. Don't forget, this weekend A&E will present WWE Legends Charlotte Flair. I didn't know she was a. I mean, she's a living legend, but I didn't know she was gonna get a biography pick that quick within 1 hour. But hey, you know how they be. Charlotte talked about Rhea Ripley ripping her about her past accomplishments, talking about she's privileged and this and that because she's a Flair. Flair legacy will live on. I mean, it sounded more like a heel promo to me than it did a face promo. So Charlotte, I think she's back being a heel again. So ain't no ain't no telling, you know how Charlotte is. She's just like everybody else. These some of these white women out here. So think they entitled, think they privileged, think they this and that and all above. Charlotte playing into that mindset going in at WrestleMania. Uh, Speaking of that, LA Knight, the man who I think should be one day could be a world champion or a secondary tier champion. He was in action against the legendary Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio and LA Knight had their battle. Rey Mysterio got distracted by Dominic. Dominic came out there to distract his father. I don't know why Dominic did what he did, just to get his father's attention. Well, Dominic crossed the line, and Dominic, after post match, came to address his mother and his sister, and tried to address them down about Ray's not want to fight him at WrestleMania. Well, Ray came out of nowhere after Dominic screamed and shouted at his mother. Ray came out of nowhere and had to put those paws on his son and agreed to a match with his son. He nailed his son, nailed him out, and Rey Mysterio will take on his son Dominic at WrestleMania. You see right here, this is what happened finally. Another father versus son match. This is the first time a father versus son match since almost 20 years, 20 plus years. You remember Vince versus Shane during that time, but it was a father versus son. Now we know it's father versus son, Ray versus Dominic at WrestleMania. I hope Ray teach that boy a lesson. That boy needs beating or two. And I think Rey Mysterio, he's the father, so he should have whipped Dominic a little long time ago. But Dominic kind of feeling the wrath of his son. Dominic feeling the wrath of his father. Ray Ray doesn't want to do this, but he has to do it. And he has to put a stop on Dominic because I look at it like this: when you're a parent and stuff, and your kids acting all wild and crazy, you have to do things you don't want to do in order to get them back on the same level and same track. It doesn't mean that you are trying to hurt them, but you're trying to teach them the right methods. I think Dominic crossed the line when he disrespected his mother and his sister like he did tonight. I hope Dominic gets a little receipt from his father But Ray's gonna have a trouble on his hands if Dominic gets a little bit carried away. Rey Mysterio right here nailed his own son and knocked him down. I never would have believed the fans even went crazy in this matchup. You can tell Ray was frustrated. Ray now can finally get his hands on his son Dominic and put Dominic in his place. And hopefully he'll do so at WrestleMania. Hopefully Dominic don't interrupt the Hall of Fame. That'll be a little bit wrong for Dominic to do, but we're talking about Dominic. So Dominic will do everything to sabotage anything that his father is doing so well and good. So hey, hopefully we don't have to see that, but we're looking forward to the matchup between Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania. Speaking of that, we tell you this: a a trip. We got a triple threat match coming. Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, does not want a triple threat match. He wanted a one-on-one match between Sheamus or Drew McIntyre. Well, things didn't go out so well for the Intercontinental Champion. The Intercontinental Champion had to sign the contract until Bush got involved. Bush wanted a piece of Gunther, and Gunther had applied. He wanted a fight as of what Bush had done, but you can tell right here, Gunther's gonna have his hands cut out for him at SoFi. But Gunther won his match over Butch by defeating him with that move he does. Gunther looks ripped and lean and mean, but he has to defend the Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match on WrestleMania. So we're looking forward to seeing that. Gunther defends the Intercontinental Championship against his two challengers who's gunning for his championship. Like I said, we'll tell you next week who I believe who will be leaving out at WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion. Tell you that right now. Between these three men right here, Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew. We'll talk about that last week. Speaking of that, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler came out there. The I call the MIA Combat Twins. We can show them. Shayna and Ronda informed that they will be entering the WrestleMania Women's Tag Team Showcase match. You know, there's another team that's going to be kicking some butt and stuff. Got Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Natalia Shantzi, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. This got to be for something. It just can't be for just them just to add wrestle for something. They have to wrestle for something. Well, we don't know yet, but they haven't determined what's going to happen. But when you got a match like that for each division, you need to say it's need to be some stakes on the line. Probably whoever wins this match, most likely they might be no one contenders for the tag team titles. So I'm looking expecting that coming soon, whenever they're gonna show it between them women. Speaking of that, we know this. Next week on SmackDown will be WrestleMania SmackDown, and you can see a crop of superstars, including Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, John Gargano, Dexter Loomis, Bronson Reed, Karrion Kross, Hit Row, Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin, the Good Brothers, a heap of people. Which one of these men will leave out with the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy, a stable of WrestleMania throughout years? We remember Andre the Giant; he was 15 years undefeated in in his matches, and he was known for winning Battle Royals. So Andre being honored once again. It all started almost a decade ago in the Battle Royal. So we're gonna see which one of these men will leave with the coveted trophy. I think who won the Battle Royal? Madcap Moss, Baron Corbin. Who else? I don't know. Lashley could. He's the odds-on favorite to win it, but we'll see. Um, hey, it's a Battle Royal. We'll see. Speaking of that, we know next week on SmackDown, all roads leads to Roman. Cody Rhodes will have that final confrontation against the Universal Champion Roman Reigns before that WrestleMania showdown. We also talked about this. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, both men who will be opponents at WrestleMania, team up to take on the team of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Ricci, as Gunther will be watching from afar his contenders teaming up against his boys. So that should be a match that we looking forward to seeing. So also too, let's see. Let's see right quick. Into the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The Battle Royal comes your way. All a list of superstars who's gonna participate. So we're looking forward to seeing that match as well. So it's a lot going on. We'll tell you that next week on SmackDown. But the final segment was this: the KO show. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn came out there, and Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens talked about every WrestleMania he has to switch it up and change it up. Well, they're going with WrestleZania. So Owens will challenge the Usos for the undisputed tag team titles. The Usos didn't waste no time. They came out there to attack their challengers after Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have reformed their brotherhood, their friendship against the Usos, who's going to stick as blood as brothers, going to do what they have to do. But the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, this match right here will happen. The Usos getting the upper hand over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So there's a lot going on, but we look forward to seeing it coming up. Next week will be the March to WrestleMania. I tell you that right now. We're gonna be on high gear on WrestleMania. We're gonna have a lot of matches and a lot of pro wrestling show reports throughout that week. Ring reports and predict outcomes for Stand Deliver in WrestleMania. Reprint predict outcomes and um with three ring reports. So we're gonna be kind of busy that weekend. Okay, we look forward to seeing it that weekend, how that goes. All right. That is the SmackDown Ring Report. Let's move forward. Let's move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics. Um, we had got reports that Naomi, right here, she kind of confirmed herself where her stats were in the WWE. And one fan wrote in this tweet right here, asked her, "Is you still in WWE?" And she kind of said no. So Naomi kind of confirmed that she's no longer with the WWE. Naomi, a former SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi was feeling that glow, and now Naomi is going to be probably be staying at home or either be at WrestleMania with her husband Jay as he defends his undisputed tag team titles. But we got the confirmation that Naomi no longer part of World Wrestling Entertainment. Naomi gave that confirmation earlier tonight. Speaking of that, we know that next week be Wheel of Fortune week for WWE. WWE is going to go all out. Wheel of Fortune, a lot of the superstars who's going to be wrestling at WrestleMania, Austin Theory, Drew McIntyre, even Baylor, they're all going to be participating in Wheel of Fortune. I'm looking forward to seeing that Wheel of Fortune episode. I'm going to be watching it this week, next week by week. So we look forward to seeing that coming up. Stuff. Speaking of that, Mr. McMahon, the chairman of WWE, who left WWE out of name disgrace due to a sexual investigation. Now Mr. McMahon returns, and they had a SEC filing that he agrees to pay back the hush money back to his company. Mr. McMahon agreed to pay back the hush money. I guess whatever that may be. So Vince McMahon agrees to pay that hush money. Well, how he even how folks found out about that? Hey, Rich got caught like that when he did what he did, but hey, to each his own. Speaking of that, MLW has been showing it's been having a hard time lately. Even trying to sue WWE for not showing that content. MLW is going to team up with Premier Streaming Network, a kind of like a wrestling app. MLW will be showing underground episodes on that Premier Streaming Network episodes. So hey, power to 'em. Speaking of that, Stacy Keibler. We're hearing rumors and reports that Stacy Keibler could be next in line for a Hall of Fame induction. The women's side, Stacey Keebler was saying that she's back on Twitter and what she's been doing lately. Where she has 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. Stacey Keebler has been saying that she's been a mom and this and that. Hey, good for Stacey Keebler. Speaking of that, Mickey James, a former women's champion WWE, saying that she it's been a lot. We went in Impact. Impact had a rough time with that men's and women's champion. Women's champion Mickey James saying that she can't compete right now due to an undisclosed injury. Mickey James will come back and compete against Jordan Grace, but it'll be a triple threat match down the road between James, Grace, and another person. Could be Giselle Shaw, who they've been pushing for lately. Speaking of that, in the men's side, the world championship side, the walking weapon Josh Alexander relinquished the Impact Championship due to a torn tricep tear that required surgery. So the Casita will face Steve Macklin to crown a new champion on April 16th at Rebellion. Steve Macklin and Kushida. Which one of these two men want to be Impact champion? It's been a long time. Look forward to seeing that they're going to crown new champion. She just got into Impact. How you gonna get a title match that quick? Hey, it is what it is. But hey, however that goes, well, float your boat and stuff like. Congratulations both, but sad for Josh Alexander. You see right here, Josh Alexander had relinquished a picture he showed that he had to let go of the Impact title. But he trains better, he gets stronger, he'll come back stronger than ever, never before. So hey, we look forward to seeing Alexander have a quick, speedy recovery. Speaking of that, Miro has been busy. He hasn't been around AEW quite some time. Miro been doing some voiceover work. And Miro kind of showing his acting chops. I mean, you know HBO Max, but he ain't been wrestling. I mean, Miro, what's his name? Andrade, they ain't been wrestling, so I don't know what's going on. But we'll go to the big boss here in a bit. Look at that. Here are pictures right here of SoFi Stadium of what they're gonna turn what like to be WrestleMania. So they're on the working stages of building WrestleMania in SoFi Stadium. We'll look forward to seeing how this WrestleMania gonna look. They say it's gonna be elaborate. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like a Hollywood is um stage. They've been showing like it's been a Chinese theater. So look forward to seeing like something like that for the WrestleMania stage. So speaking of that, CM Punk. Everyone's been talking about CM Punk. CM Punk had a lot to say, and he called out a couple of AEW stars and stuff. But this is gonna be a long, lengthy test that CM Punk wrote. CM Punk saying that he would not put his health at risk like that what he did with AEW, saying that Moxley wanted a Rocky S type storyline. You remember the movie Rocky movies starring Sylvester Stallone, and Rocky Balboa was a underdog, and throughout that, and the Moxley wanted that, saying that Moxley is a liar. And then it's shocking saying Dave Meltzer a liar, Chris Jericho's a liar and a stooge. So he went off and on. You can call him Tony Khan is clueless and stuff. So there's a lot going on in the inner workings. And then people in AEW don't want him back. it's a lot. Tony Khan gonna have to really make a huge decision on that, regardless the status of CM Punk, because I mean, either you pay the man out his contract, or you need to have a meeting with everybody so everybody come to terms. I think Tony Khan, if that's the only inevitable way out. I mean, I'll just have a meeting. All of them have to attend the meeting. It's mandatory. Have a mandatory meeting. Let them air their grievances. And like Bully Ray said, let them air their grievances and let them make money out of that incident that happened. I don't get why Tony Khan ain't thinking like that. And they like to say CM Punk is their biggest draw ratings get, but I mean you don't, try to bring the man in for ratings, and then all of a sudden you got him for a year, and then you kind of had that incident that happened with that press conference, and he kind of shows out, and however that play out and however that may have be, but I kind of think CM Punk he's good, but then again, he's almost past his prime. So I mean, how can you put someone like a CM Punk, which he should be at a good spot, but it's just that, what I'm saying, something got to give. You got him, who you think was the face of your company. Now we don't know who's the face of the company now. I don't even know. I think Omega kind of like the face, but imagine him and Omega having matches before CM Punk, gives up the towel and stuff. But we'll never know. But then Jericho had something to say about that. It's just everyone, really, Tony Khan doesn't know how to run his company. And I think I'm listening to what Cornette saying. Cornette makes a good point too. Tony Khan is just let the inmates run the asylum, which you're supposed to be the warrant, and you're supposed to be controlling the asylum, not the inmates trying to tell you how to run your job and dictate how to tell you, you know, how to do this and do that. Maybe CM Punk went a little bit overboard with that Colt Cabana statement. And maybe he should have just kept that to himself, really like kitchen table talk. But it got a little bit worse than there and after that altercation. So I mean, it's just so much going on. It's Tony Khan gonna have to do something real quick. If he gonna really have to show what type of leader he is, don't do nothing now. The insanity will continue. He has to stop it one way or another, whether he likes it or not. Can't even send your daddy. You have to lead by example, and I think Tony Khan got to do that sooner rather than later. So hey, that's what I'm kind of put forward. But CM Punk kind of revealed a lot. He is a great draw and a great talent, but he is a lot of people saying that he's just too much of a risk factor. Like when you got him, he's gonna go off the rails and go in business for himself. So I get that, but then again, Tony Khan got to reel them in, him and the elite, to say, hey, what's going on? Let's solve it, let's address it, let's get this over with. I think they got Jim Ross. Maybe Jim Ross can be a moderator and figure out the root of the problem between these two, and say, okay, maybe, like, I would like to have good old JR be the moderator between CM Punk, Ace Steel on one side, and then the elite, Ken Omega, and whoever, Heyman Page, all on the other side. So it just kills all two birds in one stone. That's why I look at it like that. So hey, that's how I see it. All right. We're gonna end that right now. We're gonna end that with this. That's that reaction tonight. Rey Mysterio put his hands on his son. This is the reaction. This is the look right here that Dominic did not see coming, but Dominic put his foot in his mouth. Now at WrestleMania, Dominic gonna have to pay the piper. He's gonna go against his dad, Rey, and Rey's gonna teach him a matter of respect sooner rather than later. I'm looking forward to see Rey put some respect into Dominic, because Dominic deserves it no matter what. Dominic deserves that respect. You don't disrespect your mother and your father. No better. No better. And Dominic's going to get what's coming to him one way or another. don't do that. You don't do that. I don't know why Dominic even let Rhea Ripley brainwash him and manipulate him the way she has. She's got a lot on her plate. Hopefully Charlotte Flair teach her a lesson or two, but we'll see. But we'll leave with this long lasting effect. Rey Mysterio knocking his son out. Unbelievable. I never thought I would see the day that Rey Mysterio um nailed his son the way he did right here. He nailed him and teach him a lesson. So, for me being Kendrick Dick says so long. We'll see you next week for the Pro Wrestling Show for the road to WrestleMania, the march to WrestleMania. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick saying so long, and we'll see you next weekend. See you later.